And I'm Leah. I'm the Marketing and Member Services Manager at the co-op. And co-op has been around almost as long as FDC, since 1976. It's been in a couple different locations, but we've been on Portelli Road since 1985. So we're also, we've partnered with FDC a lot with different community events and, initiatives. So we're just here to support.
Right. And one of our principles is concern for community, and this is definitely really something that's important for us. I'm also a member of this community. I live on Argyle. So yeah, safer streets. And yeah, happy to be here.
Awesome. Finally, we wanted to welcome Brian Grady from Councilmember Rita Joseph's office.
Hey everybody. I'm Brian. I'm the Constituent Services Director for Councilmember Rita Joseph. So our district actually starts just on the other side of the street there, so we're going to be covering some of our patch in a little bit. I just wanted to start by thanking Flatbush Street for convening this. I think today is really important. The council member really wish she could be here, but I know what a deeply personal, sort of matter road safety is for the council member. She was an educator here in Brooklyn for over 20 years. We actually lost a couple of students to traffic violence, and it's really been a key issue for her since she took office in 2022. So the council members championed the need for bike and public transit improvements here in Flatbush and across the city, including by introducing a bill that would require DOT to build 100 miles of protected bike lanes every year. And she's been vocal in her support for a dedicated bus lane along Flatbush Avenue, which would improve bus speeds in our district, which are now some of the slowest in the city. But needless to say, we're a long way from these goals. Instead, we have a DOT that really isn't even meeting what it's already required to do under the law. And that includes things like the long delayed completion of projects like the protected bike lane on the east side of Prospect Park, which was approved 5 years ago, and safety improvements around Park Circle, which was approved at the beginning of the council member's first term. Now, we work closely with DOT. We take them on walkthroughs of places where crashes and things like that happen on a regular basis. There's some really solid people who work at DOT, but I want to say they're working under some pretty difficult circumstances right now. And I think especially with a new backward-looking anti-transit president that's coming into office, we're going to need our community's support more than ever to make sure that DOT here in New York delivers on its promises. The era of ignoring central Brooklyn, of ignoring the south and east sides of Prospect Park has to be over. And it's more critical than ever for New York to serve as as an example of what safe, convenient, equitable streets look like. So thank you all. I really appreciate letting me know.
Finally, we're going to hear from Jeffrey Thomas, who's going to give us an overview of our walk and some safety, and then lead us to the end of the block where we'll hear more from the Flatbush Development Corporation and their incredible work on the new Kirk Open Street.
Yeah, so the route we're taking is pretty simple. I will be at the lead of the group. I'll have a little flag, so if you don't see me, you won't be able to find me. We're going to head north along. We're going to head north along Marlboro. We're going to stop on each of the avenues, chat about some of the work that hasn't been happening on the streets that's been promised. We're going to get on Cortellu, stop outside Flatbush Food Co-op, and then we're going to head eastbound along Cortellu. We'll stop at Ocean Avenue, which has a painted bike lane and is very sort of busy traffic thoroughfare. And then we'll end one block over on Flatbush Avenue, and Riders Line is going to speak about the work they're doing to speed up bus service on Flatbush Avenue. Is there anything else that's covered?
Yeah, just as a reminder, Jeff will be at the front. There's a large pointer with this, which will help make sure everyone knows where they're going. He is the one in the orange vest with the pointer. And Matt, who also has an orange vest, will be at the back of the ride. I've seen bikes in front of me, so my brain is just like, we're clearly riding, and that's not true. We are walking. I walked here too. And so he will be at the end of the walk, making sure that no one gets separated from the group. And of course, we're going to stop at we're going to wait for the pedestrian signal at any red lights. And if we get split up a little bit because part of our group goes ahead, we'll wait at the next stop. Our stops aren't too far apart for everyone to come together as a group. But yeah, and as a reminder too, if anyone needs anything for food,
yes,
Jeffrey has some snacks. I believe there's also water with the folks back there if they would like any water along the ride. Walk. Wow, my brain. Sorry. I need to stop looking at these beautiful bicycles along the walk.
Nice bike. Nice bike.
And we will have a wonderful time. And again, there will be a lot of opportunities to speak up and talk about the issues you see and hear questions from our partners. But to get started, Jeff, would you like to lead us towards the end of the block?
Yeah.
So that Flatbush Development
Okay,
Corporation-
New York City. So we're here. Got to be a little late, but they're going to the end of the block. See how it works, New York City. So,
But I mean, it's also, you know, I will note that there are other stops along our walk that are not so this is not, so we had a little flashback.
so
Trapped in a car with her dead family and screamed for
here. Yeah, we're walking on Marlboro Road, but I got here a little late, so.
Great, yeah.
This is the end spot? This is the end spot? This is where we stop?
Yeah, this one.
Perfect. Why is everybody across the street for?
This spot where we have room.
Why is everybody across the street for?
I'm not there yet. I have a friend who does it this year. She tries to do it, but she had an injury. She still tried to do it. She got like a little bit. Yeah, that's.
So I saw it on like our
I know some of the people that like.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Thomas. I live a couple blocks from here. And part of why we wanted to stop at this spot is there was a, you may have heard, there was a pretty horrifying crash like a month or two ago. There was a kid who had just got, like her parents had just bought his bike, was coming along, Newburgh turns into Dithmas over at Coney Island. And tried to take a turn, or there was a vehicle trying to take a turn there. I don't think the vehicle even saw him. Kid got killed. And so that sort of thing has been happening in this neighborhood for years. DOT said, I think in 2017, this was a priority district for the number of cyclists who were killed or seriously injured. They came here with a plan last year saying we can consider putting in some protected bike lanes. The advantage of protected bike lanes is for both cyclists and everyone else who uses the road. It makes it clear sort of what the lanes are for. It means that vehicles or cars are seeing that there's bikes over here. You can see this is a residential family neighborhood. There are people playing here. Kids need places, like kids should be able to feel safe riding their bike down the street, and there are basically no streets. I think there are in fact no protected bike lanes south of the park, like all the way.
Is it too narrow? That's the reason why. I think it's just too narrow around here.
I don't know. They say that
No, there's a bike lane on Broadway.
Yeah, there is a lane.
Not protected. Right.
Yeah, that's not protected. Yeah.
I know.
So DOT has plans for this. There are a couple of plans. They said we can make this layout. We're going to make this layout. We just haven't seen action from them since last year. So one of the things that we're pushing DOT for, there's a community board transportation committee meeting last week where it said, what's the holdup? You have the plans. You have we know this needs to be done. You know this needs to be done. So that's sort of what we're calling for here.
I want to know, like, why won't y'all be pushing for like wood protected bike lanes? I'm not talking about just like paint. Paint is like crap. Won't you advocate for barriers, like
Yes,
barriers,
that is exactly
like
what we're
bollards,
advocating for, yes.
plastic?
Yeah.
But do DOT has the money for that?
They claim that it's going to happen this year. I don't think it's an issue of money. I don't think it's an issue of design. They claim that they're ready to do it.
What?
But for
I think everybody here, I think we all could agree that
Yes.
we need every bike lane should have a barrier, like a real protected barrier, because it doesn't mean anything. We had like a situation in Sunset Park. I'm not from Sunset Park, but it's my senatorial district, my Reed's district, and I think he died. He passed away. He got hit by a fire truck. He could have been alive right now if he had a real protected bike lane.
Yeah, the question was, should we be advocating for protected bike lanes? Well, protected means there's some infrastructure. There's either barriers, little bollards, many times just shift the parking lane over in some fashion where the bicyclists are physically separated from the cars. And I think the answer is yes. There is room for it. There is design for it. It's, as far as I know, just a matter of DOT prioritizing it and deciding this needs to happen.
But why they prioritize open streets more than protected bike lanes? I think
That's a question for DOT.
All right, cool. All right, thank you. That's all that is.
Any other questions on? Yes.
Yeah, I have another question about protected bike lanes.
Yeah.
And that is that there's a very interesting segment of Brian Larry just Friday about cars in urban areas, specifically New York City. There's and I'm a lifelong biker and practically a lifelong member of TA. So I'm pro TA. But there's recklessness in the streets regarding bicycle behavior. People going the wrong way on one-way streets, people careening around corners on a one-way street, almost crashing into people going in the right direction. E-bikes in bike lanes, and there's no infrastructure to address these issues. And TA, an organization I love, has not spoken up about bad bicycle behavior. So this has to be addressed before we talk about adding bike lanes, because they're going to be dangerous with bikes going in the wrong direction and e-bikes sharing them in a confined space.
So what I would say, so the question is basically, there are cyclists who go the wrong way, cyclists going too fast, etc. in the bike lanes. What are we doing about that? I would say, this is my thought here, people will do the right thing when there is the infrastructure to do the right thing. A lot of times when I see cyclists, e-bikes, regular bikes, whatever, riding on, for instance, sidewalks, it's because there isn't a way to get there. We saw this on Parkside Avenue, for instance. There is a two-way protected bike lane on the north side of Parkside. For a while, there was no way to connect to it. Like, you're coming from this neighborhood northbound, there are no good ways to get to that bike lane because of the way, because it's a pretty high-speed street. And so you'll see cyclists, doing all sorts of other things, going on the sidewalks that are, because it's a high pedestrian area also. So my feeling, personally, is if we make the infrastructure there, if we, acknowledge that just as much as people drive and walk and they also cycle on everyone has places to go everywhere, make them networks there.
There's a light there now. So
There is, yes, that is the one thing that DOT did. You're correct. There is a light there now. So DOT added a stoplight that is specifically intended for bicyclists to get northbound from the parade grounds, crossing there.
Actually, they put in two and
Yes.
crosswalks,
Yes.
Yeah.
which was a tremendous improvement. Whoever worked on that, thank you.
Yes.
But where is
Note
where?
that we should make sure that DOT is thinking big. A lot of the newer, bike lanes have, as they've gone in, more and more people have decided to bicycle. More and more types of bicycles are here, and even regardless of different types of bicycles, different bicyclists ride at different speeds. Before the riding bike lanes, a lot of the people who rode were people who were more comfortable riding in the road, who were faster, more athletic, and now we see a lot more different types of bikes, like parents with children on the back, folks who maybe are going slower and just doing a smaller neighborhood run, and the more we make bike lanes that really meet that moment. And we've been seeing some of these expanded, like in Manhattan, there are some wider bike lanes now for this. We need to make sure that every bike lane is built not just for what's happening now, but for what can happen, so that we get the types of bike lanes that are safe for bicyclists, the types of bike lanes that aren't just paint, that come with pedestrian improvements. Because even DOT's work, maybe not, I don't want to say worse, but even the oldest models of DOT's protected bike lanes have shown significant safety improvements for all road users, actually especially pedestrians. So, I think this is something that our campaign is very conscious of and is working on making sure that when we ask for things, we get the best kind of things that are the safest for people. And it's an ongoing conversation, and bike lanes, if there's too much traffic in a specific bike lane, that's a great indication that it's time to upgrade it, make it bigger, make it support things, support all the people who want to be there.
And by the way, where's Loster and Eastos, the Work Construction Project? Why they didn't support this event? Like if y'all talking about like street safety, why they did not endorse this event? Like Ligia and Gustavo, why they didn't?
Reach out to them, but I think they're smart. I don't know if anyone reached out to them.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned the data about. I think what DOT has found is that adding protected bike lanes increases the amount of bike traffic, but there is still a decrease in the number of injuries that happen, like an overall, like numerically. So it's not just like decrease per rider. It's just there are fewer absolute injuries, fewer absolute incidents that happen, crashes that happen when you add protected bike lanes in, even though that increases the number of riders.
I also just want to be mindful that we make sure that everyone has a chance to speak at this event, and that everyone will have a chance to ask questions. So to that end, just want to add a community norm that if you've spoken a lot, please give other people a chance to speak. And if you have something you want to speak and you haven't spoken yet, I encourage you to speak up. But definitely want to make sure that Nina, our partner at Flatbush Development Corporation, has a lot of time to speak about the open street. So let's transfer to talking about that.
Hi everybody again. I'll try to speak a little louder. FDC has been a DOT partner in their Open Streets program for 5 years now, since 2020. 2024 was our 5th season, and I do have to say that it has improved more and more each year. It started off and maybe maintains to be a little bit of a controversial program. A lot of people really love it, especially a lot of the families that live along Newkirk Avenue, the businesses that benefit from the programming that we put on. A lot of artists have done great work. We've partnered with Rob's team over at Artmageddon, a lot of different artists who've worked on the mosaics over here at the Marlboro Tunnel. They've done mosaic workshops on our street. We had a great mural put up. That was actually right before COVID. So that was before Open Streets. But the one over on Foster Avenue, we workshopped here at one of our Open Streets events before that mural went up. So it's a very great community space and opportunity for anybody to participate in community programming. It started off as a COVID initiative to get people out of the house. Our community board district ranks one of the lowest in the city or the borough in green public space. We are close to Prospect Park, but there are not a lot of like smaller local parks around here. The plaza is a very popular gathering place, but our Newkirk Avenue Open Street has really become a place for people to come and enjoy on Sundays. Funding has been something that has decreased significantly, which has impacted our programming capacity. We started off being able to put on a lot of great events every single Sunday, high budget, and over the years that's gone down. But we try to do it at least 6 to 7 different events a year. We bring movies to the street, we bring concerts, kids activities, educational activities. It is a full closure event, and now finally, in order to make it safe, we finally got the DOT's cooperation to place permanent signs along the street, no standing from May to July on Sundays 12 to 8 p.m. This didn't make a lot of the residents around here very happy. There are some complaints on noise. We try our hardest to work with this. We understand that it is maybe not something that everybody gets on with, but I would say the majority really likes it, and we try to be respectful of everybody's needs and wants, because we do need more public space. We do need more space for kids to play, and just things going on in the neighborhood, especially in the summers. Gets, you know.
Because can I ask you a question? So who's giving you money for programming? Is it Rita Joseph? She's supporting this, our council member?
So it's the DOT.
But why is not Rita Joseph not supporting you guys? This is her district. I mean, I think everybody here should fight telling Rita, like, if you don't fund this program, we're gonna vote you out. Y'all should be.
Rita Joseph is one of our partners, and she partners with us on a lot of different initiatives.
But she should be funding you guys.
She does support FTC.
Through the Open Streets program, not just like the programming for like.
I want to make sure that everyone has. I know a lot of people. Some people like to speak up more. Some people like to speak.
You understand, but y'all should
everyone has a chance.
Like y'all should be saying, like, look, if you don't fund the Open Streets, we're gonna vote you out, Rita. 2025. If you don't fund the Open Streets program, we're gonna vote you out. You people should be saying this stuff.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I got.
Thank you for your thoughts. We'd like to, again, as we mentioned, make sure everyone has a chance to speak, particularly folks who are residents of the
Can
neighborhood.
I just respond to that? I mean, the council member is very supportive of the Open Street program, and we work very closely with FDC. I mean, if this needs additional money for programming, like, FDC has the same opportunity as anyone else to apply for discretionary.
But she should be prioritizing it. She should be prioritizing this program.
Rita Joseph does fund our program, our organization for community work. You know, there's a lot of different organizations in the neighborhood, a lot of different initiatives, and funding only goes so far. The DOT funds the program because it is their program. They partner with the community board to approve the permits. Rita Joseph, along with Farrad Lewis, support a lot of community events all year.
Allow this person to
Yeah, we can't block the street. We can't block the sidewalk like that. Yeah, just try to keep like a space, like an opening. Yeah.
I also saw a hand over there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Are there programs for the open street for every Sunday that it's closed? Because when they're orange, it's unused.
Yeah, well, so that is some feedback we've received. There are some Sundays where it's used more than others. There is not funding for programming to be every Sunday. There just is not. We do open it up to restaurants and businesses and even residents to come out and use it. You know, we have some people setting up and playing chess. We have some restaurants setting up tables. That is slowly changing. We understand that if they're empty, it feels pointless, but this was a mandatory deal breaker for the DOT, that if you run it from May till July, you have to close the streets every single Sunday. There could not be a break. So, you know, because weather is so inconsistent, it's difficult. If you only book for weekends and they're all raining, then you don't have any programming. So that's we understand that's challenging. Next year, we're really going to try to push more to work with the businesses to get out on their own, especially because funding for us is an issue. But yeah.
But we should be every Sunday, right? It should be every Sunday, right? Every Sunday.
I just want to thank Nina again and Flatbush Development Corp for all their wonderful work on this open street. It's been a real blessing to have it in our community and to have a space where we can walk around free of cars, have just a small amount of space for that, and do various both programming and also just kind of pop up. I've had my lunch here sometimes on an open street when there's been no other programming around. It's been really beautiful, especially just to see everyone else out and other things like that. So with that, we're going to go to our next stop, and we'll.
Can I just ask one question about the street? Is this I don't know if this is the right forum for talking about stop signs. On Dorchester.
We're about to go to that very next stop, and that's actually one of the specific topics for that stop.
Thank you.
Yeah, so thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. So yeah, and like people should be fighting Rita Joseph, man. If y'all fight Rita Joseph, I'm with you guys. She gotta go. Rita,
this isn't a political rally.
I know it's not. Rita has to go. Y'all know she's not doing the right thing for you.
We're here to advocate. We're
not
a political rally.
But she gotta go. I mean, y'all gotta start tell them, hey, look, if you don't do the right thing in front of your open street, you gotta go. We'll push street pack, get somebody else. If you fight Rita Joseph, I'll fight with you guys. That's why y'all be actually telling Rita Joseph like, look, this is not enough for the open streets.
I'm with Flatbush Street for People, which is just neighborhood groups basically folks who don't want to be early. I think we are folks who don't want to be early. Clear markings and so forth, and we're going to put no protection in it. And we have folks who are anti-bike lane and pro-bike lane folks coming out and say, this is not a good idea. This is So we've been looking for various neighborhood improvements.
Yeah, this is.
Space out a little frustrated with that. Like, DOT just doesn't seem to be. I don't know what their prioritizing, but we asked them about things they presented. They're like, what is this is your presentation. Something I don't know, city government was forgotten. We are, but we're
Yeah, at the end of the day, I should be get at Rita Joseph because she's not doing the right thing. I know y'all guys don't like to go against her, but look, I called her ass out, man. I was y'all. Called her out. Like, yo, you ain't doing the right thing. We're gonna vote you out, Rita. We're gonna vote you out. 2025 is your year. You're done. Look, you fight Rita Joseph, I'm with you guys. I'll make that call. I'm with you, Transalt. So we're in the old Victorian area of Victorian.
And it's terrible.
We got riders lines here. They probably want bike lanes here on Ditmas. We're at Ditmas. Oh yeah, there's a lot of people here.
Gathering.
Yeah, I know without the ring.
Yeah, if you want to talk here,
Hi, everyone.
Sorry. Sorry, man.
Hi. Hi.
we can move it. Yeah, come on in, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, just, whatever.
Yeah, let me go here. Sorry about it. So why is it on the ground floor, by the way? Can you want somebody to hold it? That was on the ground.
No.
That's on the floor. All right, let me go to the grass. Let me take a picture of this one before we go. Sorry about that.
Hi, everyone. Just a couple quick things because the intersection up there is pretty dangerous. We figured this would be a better staging spot.
Yeah.
My name is Rosine, and I cross this intersection up here that you're about to witness every day. This is a video that a neighbor made. A neighbor.
Bless you, brother.
Video that a neighbor made of what it's really like to cross Dorchester Road. He's pretty great with computers, so you can see cars, pedestrians, people crossing. What you'll see up on Dorchester Road, it's not a lack of a problem. Those of you who live in the area see all the time the cars that cross and the cars that go by and how impossible it is to see oncoming traffic until you're almost hit, whether you're a car or a pedestrian. It's not for a lack of will. Councilmember Joseph has brought the commissioner here, has seen it. We've seen the
the cars that stay in the no standing zone that take a already impossible situation and make it even worse with as far as visibility. And it's not for a lack of voice. A change.org/Dorchester petition has gotten over 400 signatures without a. This is the first poster I ever made about 5 minutes ago. It's just word of mouth and people crossing it are terrified of crossing this intersection. Last week, my neighbor's dog was killed there. That's not going to generate an NYPD report. And importantly, NYPD is no longer issuing traffic reports. We had a crash there. That's because nobody died and because there wasn't a serious fatality. They do not come and they do not report. A limousine hit a sedan head on. They called police. They came. They stayed. They waited. A report wasn't issued. That's important because, as you all may know, the warrant is that you need 5 crashes within 12 months, and we had 5 preventable crashes, 3 within the first 3 weeks of school. So and then when another one happened, it was awful, but we were like, this is it. This is the 5th crash. The police didn't respond. No report was issued. So we had September 2nd, 2023, 1 injury. NYPD field report was filed. October 27th, 2023, NYPD report filed. November 5th, 2023, report filed. And on April 24th, there was a serious injury and report was filed, but that seems to have come to an end and they're not issuing police reports anymore unless somebody dies. And we are really wondering if we need to go that route and
that's a state matter.
Wait for someone to die. So
that should be a state matter, right?
See, the 9 warrants are issued, and we're very familiar with what they are, and believe that because of the unique geography of the situation, of the pedestrian on-pass of not being able to see cars coming, as well as the 4-hour vehicular volume, that was measured. They did measure volume, and the volume was deemed to be too low, a little bit too low. They measured it during a school break. There's 4 elementary schools in this neighborhood, and they measured pedestrian volume during school break. Filming? Could you stop for a moment? My minor son is here.
Yeah. Eyes off.
Thank you.
Put my butt behind it.
They measured how many school children specifically, how many vehicles per hour, total pedestrians involved, out of which how many school children were done, and they did it when it was a DOE school break.
Yeah,
and that's one reason why these reports have been
make sure you get back inside.
These are some of the 311 requests that our neighborhood has put in for this intersection, as well as the others. This is each individual. Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Nope.
All right, it's on.
Then facing down.
Yeah, face down.
No, it's not.
All right, face down. Now it's down. It's down.
You have a different
Oh, this thing. All right, cool. Okay, I got it. No problem. Perfect.
We're all trying to make it safer. I know.
Yeah, I understand.
These are each individual things done by individual neighbors' requests, signals, multi-way stop, Dorchester and Marlboro.
Now you're back inside. Wait.
Safety report request and.
All right, he's back inside.
So just
he's back inside.
You'll see.
I know. I'm letting know back inside. I put my camera back on.
So you'll see for yourself. But just wanted to give an update on, don't think, whoa, this is crazy. Someone should do something about this. Because I guess my message to you is, we've begged and we've been nice about it. We've been a little more aggressive about it, doing a petition. We have stood there. Our council person, Rita Joseph, has brought DOT to see it themselves, and they did agree that it seemed like it was, they warranted a study, but again, the study was so, it would be sad if it wasn't so pathetic and scary that they did a traffic study for the number of kids during a school break. And then they said that's, one reason why it wasn't possible. So, we have the number of crashes, and we are begging anyone who will listen to not wait until people die there, because we see that that's the next step. And we're really trying to avoid that. And we have people who, so anyway, any questions or
why you should be advocating for the state?
We're gonna let other people ask questions, please.
I was saying,
Questions have an opportunity.
no, I was asking why you're not letting the state advocate for you.
Because my daughter lives right over here. My grandkids have to cross that street, and it's very, very dangerous. So I'm one of the 311 complaints there, but it's good to know that people are getting together on this because, you know, in numbers we'll be able to make. I've spoken to the council person and the previous council person, so I applaud what you're doing, and I'm going to give you my name later so we can, you know, work on this.
Yeah, and thank you so much. And we have fixdorchester.com, which is simply a video of the intersection of Dorchester, and an ask for people to put in. There's no opinions about it. You form your own judgment by looking at it, going down there and signing. But we have been asking, and you can just see by the tempo of reports of actual crashes. And then it just stopped. And I'm sure, you know, I don't know if you see that elsewhere on your tour, but the number of crashes is stopping. We know that the police are overwhelmed. We know the 70th is doing the best they can, but I printed it, I didn't bring it down. We emailed them pictures of the crash and said, hey, here's two witnesses, videos of the crash itself. But because there was no fatality, they said you can contact the state if you want for insurance information. But no NYPD report was filed. And for DOT, they need an NYPD report. As I've said to people, you see these report numbers right here?
Yeah.
It's a report or it didn't happen.
They have to be called.
That'd be called.
It was called. It was called. It was emailed. The NYPD has to issue a report
Yeah, they
number.
have to come in person.
Yes, but they were called. But that's why I'm saying, like, it wasn't for lack of effort.
They came and they didn't create a report.
They didn't come.
Okay, so that's the problem.
They didn't come. But you know, like the information was provided.
No,
and
they won't do a report.
And the report numbers are the metric used in the database.
They always have to be called to come.
Yeah, so they were the two people.
And they didn't. Yeah. They never showed up.
The two people involved in the collision called. They waited. One person put up signs around the intersection. Hey, anyone who had photo or video. So everyone had photo and video, and they got back to them, and they had photo and video of the limousine and the crash colliding head on because of a lack of a stop. But because they had left the scene and because nobody died, there wasn't a report issued.
So you this should be a state matter where y'all should be advocating, as transportation alternatives be advocating for making it where for every crash, non-fatal, they should. I'm just asking. I'm not asking.
If the governor's here, I'll happily advocate for the state too. I love that.
Yeah,
idea.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, anyone else?
Not disparaging question. That's a simple question.
Elaine, if you wanted to speak.
I'll just add a few details. When we cross the Dorchester intersection, you're going to see that the street is so wide that what the cars actually do is cars that like slow down to turn or yield to pedestrians are passed by other vehicles. And so when DOT counts the cars, they're not accounting for this absolutely insane behavior of the drivers as they're speeding through the intersection and passing the cars that have slowed to turn or yield. And that's how these crashes happen, and that's why there's serious risk of injury and fatality. There have been pedestrian fatalities in the neighborhood, and this is another like high likelihood fatality intersection.
Would a speed bump make more sense or make sense in addition to a stop sign? People don't ignore speed bumps.
Yeah. I mean, one issue is that sometime between 2011 and 2014, DOT redid the asphalt and put no new markings on it. So people act like it's a 2-lane road, like this neighbor just said, and pass each other. And when they did do a speed study, it was only covering one side, so all the people going around. I don't know if a speed bump's possible because of the proximity to other people who might need it, but I do know that you'll see yourself, but the visibility is so limited, and this is a pedestrian bridge, so that by the time that you come out and you see if there's a car, by the time you come out and you see if there's a car coming, you can't exactly jump back in a car. And also, unfortunately, the April 24th collision that seriously injured a senior, who, by the way, is one of the 170 seniors who get a senior meal at the senior center at the intersection every weekday. He was hit because the driver was looking for oncoming cars to the point that, okay, no cars are coming, I'm going to go. And he smacked into a man in his 70s, knocked him to the ground, had severe head contusion, and he was taken away in an ambulance. So so many of the warrants are done. It's just so shocking that it hasn't been done.
And also, regarding the geography, there's about 3 blocks in which there's no stop sign going that way. So cars accelerate to reach Argyle where there is a stop sign.
Right.
So they're going faster than usual.
Yeah, if they hit this light at East 17th and get it green, it's a highway.
Yeah.
And with the new traffic calming measures just put in place at Cortelyou and Coney Island Avenue, Dorchester has received more traffic from people figuring out that if they want to take a left, they better come down this way before so that they can do that. So the traffic has increased, and you really have a highway situation. Green light, no stop sign, boom, stop sign. And this is where the neighbor's dog was killed by a car that didn't stop at the stop sign.
Where is Kevin Parker? Where is Kevin Parker on this? Where's Kevin Parker?
There's a years-long backlog on street bumps. That I don't know whether they're so disorganized or so backed up, but you can't get one for years. The stop sign may be faster.
Yeah, I think the folks who have done the research have, a stop sign is definitely better than a stop light in this situation. And yeah, 2 blocks from 2 subway stops, directly in front of an active senior center. It's a synagogue, it's a cooling center. It's less than 1 block from a DOE, UPK, and 3K center with 80 neighborhood kids enrolled. And it was also open since the traffic study in 2019 as well. And 2 blocks from 2 DOE elementary schools. So I'll let you guys see it yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, I'm trying my best to help you guys out and get your open streets for Rita Joseph and the daylighting and stopping me. Artmageddon, what's up, man? Robert Elstein. Sorry.
Hello again, everybody. Tabor and Chloe are here. We just wanted to tell you a little bit about the wonderful art and music festival that we hold in the neighborhood that many of you here have been part of and know a little bit what we're talking about. But essentially, we've done 6 Artmageddons over the last 4 years. We did 2 in 2021, we did 2 in 2022, then we did one last year, we did one this year, which was just October 6th. It's a bit of work to put the festival together. Although it's extremely popular and in demand, it doesn't just kind of happen automatically. So a big help in the effort this year was Chloe and Tabor. So I'm going to invite them to tell a little bit about how we put it all together.
Yeah, well, of course. So Artmageddon is a neighborhood-wide artist cleanup, and it involves open streets, right? So in order for it to work, people need to be able to transport themselves effectively without needing to worry about being in danger while they're going around. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, you have.
Yeah, I guess on the day of Artmageddon, we see a lot of people with bikes, with scooters, little kids. I think it slows down sort of the movement of people through the neighborhood because we have artists, booths, and vendors along in front of the houses, so people are going at a slower pace to stop and look at the art. And it just involved a lot of collaboration with the community. We worked with FDC to make a map of spots in Flatbush that are of note. We worked with the Flatbush Food Co-op. They are like a host location. So I think it's important to make these connections between community organizations because then we can all be on the same page about what's happening with safer streets.
Right, and on the basis level, I think that we have the same priorities. We all are advocating for the improvement of public space. We are all advocating for a safer, a more inclusive, and a more enjoyable community to live in. So we're really just here to extend our support. We encourage you guys to check us out if you would like, but we are also really proud of the work that is being done here. And yeah.
We're proud of you guys. Artmageddon is so much fun.
fun. If you've never been, definitely check it out.
It's
That's
one
like
of the best days in the neighborhood. And thank you, Robert, and your team, your volunteer. Your team.
All right, we're going to keep heading up. We'll head up to Cortellia.
Yep. I'll take it. Thank you. Oh, good. Okay. No problem. So, at the end of the day, it's, look, I'm trying my best to help these guys out. Like I said, if you give me the bank, you got your open streets. That's okay. Like, look, at the end don't like walking on grass, but sometimes you got a cheat code, right? Cheat code walking.
My name's Eric.
My name is Christopher.
Nice to meet you.
Say to you, man. Say to you, brother. Yeah.
Do you live in the neighborhood?
I live in Crown Heights.
Okay.
I think it's the same. It's a 17 district, right? The community board, right?
Here?
I think it's community board 17, right? But I'm in community board 8.
Here it's 14.
I'm in 8. So.
Okay. Well, I don't know where it exactly ends.
Yeah, I'm in Crown Heights. I'm in Brooklyn. I'm in Brooklyn, so I know, man. Flatbush, second you got Flatbush Avenue. It goes near my community board district, so that's why.
Are you involved with transportation alternatives?
No, I'm really not to like them, but I'm here to see what it's about. Cause they actually advocate for, they don't even advocate for transportation anyway. Right? They only organization advocate for transportation anyway, so we might as well come out and see what they're talking about.
Okay.
Might as well see what it's about, right?
Are you involved with other organizing groups?
Not organized group, I just do my own thing.
Okay.
I have my own media channel, so
cool.
That's how I do my thing.
Like social media or YouTube?
Yeah,
or?
everything.
Oh, cool.
Christopher Leon
That's where you're gonna.
Yeah, put on YouTube, everything. I'm on Twitter, X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
What's it called?
Christopher Leon Johnson. Christopher Leon Johnson. You cannot miss it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And do you write as well, or is it mostly video? Or?
No, I just do like little captions. That's it.
Okay.
That's me in a nutshell.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, send you, brother. Let's catch
You
up.
want a water bottle?
No, it's okay, man. I'll probably get later on because I think on the end everybody gets tired. So let me go.
I noticed that we made it like one block in the first 35 minutes, and I was like, this is gonna take a while.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it always takes a while. That's the point. That's why it's 1 to 3. We go all the way with Cortellia, the last stop.
If I have to be honest, I don't remember what the
Yeah.
road is.
Yeah. You see the
Talking. I signed up to talk at Cortellia and Coney Island Avenue.
Oh, I know what that's at. That's Kensington.
Yeah.
Kensington.
Well, yeah, just the border there.
That's Kensington, yeah.
So,
Coney?
Because they did. Are you familiar with that intersection?
No, I'm not.
Okay. It's they call it a dog leg, which means that it's, even though it's Cortellia to Cortellia, it's a.
Yeah.
It's a road that goes through, but they don't meet up at a right angle. It's not a cross intersection, so it kind of jogs a little bit. And anyway, it causes a lot of issues. It's like, it seems like it should be close enough to the normal intersection, but then it kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't need one or no?
No. Sorry?
Oh, you don't need one.
I'm happy. We'll make sure that. But yeah, I was just gonna say, you're welcome to come. But
someone told you about the access.
Let me catch up. So it is. This is a nice. Wow. This is fucking beautiful. This is fucking beautiful. Yeah, be careful with the waters, man. Be careful, bro. This is nice, guys. This is nice, NYC. Holy crap. This is real nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. I didn't get the point to speak because it felt like everyone was talking over a little bit. But the DOT is the Open Streets program owner. They started the program. But we are funded by Councilmember Rita Joseph and Farrah Lewis.
Yeah, I like Farrah. I don't like Rita.
And they're both of them are great partners in funding our programs.
Yeah.
They just all stretch to all of our programs, not only Open Streets.
Yeah.
So
you have to like
clarification.
ration how y'all spend the money for programming.
Exactly,
Oh, that's right.
So it's primarily funded by DOT, but it's funded by them as well automatically because they fund us for programming, and we have not only open streets events, we have Newkirk Plaza events and Cortelli Road, the Flatbush Frolic.
Yeah.
So that's a big one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I understand. This is nice. This is.
Oh.
So we're in George. So this is called Dorchester. This is the district. Yeah, stop. Dorchester, they call it Dorchester.
Wow. Are you the end? Are you the end? All right. We're going to keep heading north to Cortelli, but yeah.
So at the end of the day, guys, like I said, Chris Johnson tried to help. Like I said, y'all know how I do. Like I said,
we'll keep going north up to Cortelli.
let me get on the sidewalk. Cortelli and Flatbush. Let's see where they're at. So we're at Cortelli Road. This is, they call it Cortelli Road.
And they show up in the full-size trailers? Yes. Yeah. So an interesting problem is that those trailers are not allowed on any street in New York City. No one enforces it. It makes sense. It makes sense, like interchange city. Like you're allowed to ride on like one highway to get from.
So we're on Cortelli Road. This is where we're at now.
Everything is, you know, the world is like really focused.
Sorry.
How much did we make?
Cortelli Road, the heart of Ditmas. Kensington is not that far over there. It's that way. Kensington is that way. We're in Ditmas, so.
We're going to stop the Country Club that's by here. Yeah, I'm waiting.
Students, at first it was
Yeah, that's literally.
Yeah, I've never noticed this little backyard.
Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much just like the dumpsters, and then we have like a little, we have an emergency exit, and we have a conveyor belt.
Okay, so you've already turned it into a lab.
Yeah, so it's, yeah, so as you can see, so this building was built as a super active building.
Yes.
So,
It used to be a really big dog back
oh yeah?
and then the dog was on the side. There's like a back door.
You guys want to speak first?
Yeah.
Scott Park. Yes.
Hello. So we're with Flatbush Food Co-op right here. We are Brooklyn's only food co-op that's totally open to the public. We've been around since 1976, but we've been in this building since 2008. So one of the things we were mentioning that involves traffic is smaller truck deliveries, we're able to get a little bit of a yard here. But there is one truck or two that we get deliveries from that do unfortunately have to stop at the store.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Here. There's a lot of other, there's 2 other grocery stores right on this strip and delis and everybody else. We have a lot of delivery trucks. So one issue we have is the visibility in the morning of delivery trucks, and then we also have the MTA buses coming through, so sometimes there's like real traffic, sort of pile-ups at certain times. We also have a school right on the next block, and then beyond that is the library. We have several medical offices as well, so there's a lot of different, at certain times of day, between deliveries and between school being let out, there can be a lot of traffic congestion. We do have bike racks. We do have a little one right here, and then we have a slightly bigger one in front of the store. They did put in a lot of city bikes in this neighborhood between this street and then going that way. But other than the city bike racks themselves, we don't have enough bike racks for people to leave bikes.
We also don't have any bike lanes, as you can see on Versailles, which it's not in our control, unfortunately. But I myself have witnessed about 3 accidents just between this block and Argyle. So, I mean, there's clearly some room for improvement there. I also am curious, since you guys shop here and, maybe I'm a little too close to see it, if you've noticed anything that's like in front of the store in terms of safety. See somebody in the back. Oh, I'm sorry. Safety issues. Sorry. Part 2. I was asking if any of you have noticed anything in front of the store in terms of safety that you could point out, because again, sometimes we're a little bit too close to see it.
So, are you going to do it with the Laristas? The Laristas, they're essential workers.
I have noticed a lot of double parking on both sides of Portello, and I don't see any traffic of people moving those cars along. But if you're, even if you're walking with the light, that really blocks visibility for pedestrians in the intersection.
Yeah, that's true.
The same issue as with, that same issue as was mentioned before, it happens on Portello, so I bike and drive and walk here, is that when people are double parked, the cars often pass in the opposite direction, and you can find yourself as a cyclist facing traffic, trucks or cars.
Also, the firefighters double park their cars all the time. And they told the last city councilman that they only do it when there's change of shift, but it's there all the time. They're there when you can park easily anywhere else. And I ride a bike too. They're extremely dangerous.
And just to point out, someone's now parked in your truck lane.
Yeah. Didn't even see that. There you go. Things like that.
I have a question. Is the co-op allowed to have the bike racks?
I don't actually know. I think that might fall under DOT. So it's kind of like in terms of like the street trees and like the fences around them, the city controls those. We can put plantings in the tree beds. We can't actually do anything with the trees. So I can look into that, but I feel like that's going to be something where even if we're allowed to do it, it has to go through the DOT.
Yeah, it has to be like a request to the DOT to get the extra bike racks.
Okay.
That's right.
I will make a note.
So I guess I'm not really sure what my question is, but I am doing work on Flatbush Avenue for bus lanes and busways, and I'm wondering, like, because you get a lot of deliveries, like how the delivery trucks like sort of interact with pedestrian safety or traffic and regular traffic, and like also the buses, because a lot of times businesses almost always do not want those improvements going in because they claim it will like take parking away from there. So I'm just wondering what like sort of you think about that.
I mean, so we have, technically this is there's a loading zone in front of the store here that was put in, so there are certain hours that people aren't supposed to park. That's really it, it's just sort of, if people park in those spaces, then the truck has to be out in the road.
Right.
If people aren't parked there, the truck can at least be at the curb and there's no double parking going on. It's usually pretty good. We're usually able, they're able to get the truck up against it, but I mean, yeah, any improvements are good with us.
And you were telling me also that's only certain hours?
Yeah, so the loading zone only operates for certain hours. I'd have to look at it. I don't know it off the top of my head, but yeah, there are certain hours in the morning that is supposed to be when the delivery comes. There is, of course, also the issue that sometimes delivery trucks are late, so that takes some room.
And the garbage truck, I looked at that blue house. The garbage trucks come at night and they're really noisy.
Yeah, we also can't control when they come. I mean, you can't even pick your own contractor for that. That's the city.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, the city does picks the commercial carter. So, unfortunately, we don't really have a say.
I saw your hand.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I second that issue with double parking, and I think it would be great to have like dedicated truck loading area up and down the street. I don't know if there's like some sort of minor compromise where there's like 15-minute parking, just like for the people that really need to just pick something up, and then have it be truck parking otherwise. But I think 2-hour parking feels kind of like not the right priority, and I'm sure that's not even well enforced.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever really see tickets on the street of any type.
Yeah. And we do also have issues where, so we do a few events throughout the year where we have permission to close this side of the street. We do blood drives and electronic waste recycling. And for those, the police will give you no parking signs, but they will not do any enforcement.
Well, is that the councilman's job to be advocating for that? Like that should be her job. Like she should be advocating to make sure that there's more police officers and more traffic agents in this area to enforce double parking. That should be advocating the councilman for that. I mean, you should tell Joseph, advocate for it.
Yes.
I mean, this is not strictly to the co-op, but I just want to build on the 15-minute idea because, like you said, there's like the elementary school right there, and there's definitely a lot of people dropping off and picking up in cars. And if there were designated 15-minute like zones, it would really improve the situation because the double parking there is also a huge issue. So I would imagine that there are certain times of day where it's here and it's there and it's just
I live on Argyle, so when I'm coming up that block to come to work, I'll see sometimes the traffic is crazy when people are dropping off and picking up.
Yeah, and that 15-minute window is all, like, they don't even need that, but they just need a place to not be in traffic and have the kids needing to walk through traffic too.
There's been many times I've seen cars have to drive backwards to get out of Argyle.
Oh, God.
Crazy. Yeah.
That's not
safe.
safe.
Anyone else? Yes.
I've seen some political discussion of limiting deliveries to nighttime hours as a way of cutting down traffic. I'm curious for any of the Flatbush Streets or the Riders Alliance what people feel like in terms of advocacy around shifting deliveries to nighttime hours.
I mean, I think one of the issues with that is getting, so trucks that come from upstate, trucks that come from out of state, they're not going to shift to overnight deliveries, bigger companies. Smaller companies, yeah, maybe you could do it, but the bigger companies, which are the ones that we're having the issues with, with having room for them, they're not going to switch their whole schedule of working for us,
I would also add that the other side of that coin is saying that we value private storage of cars on public property for pennies,
I was thinking more in terms of bike lanes and being able to use up more of the street.
I feel like
I
also
hear what you're
the
saying.
noise probably would also be an issue.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who live here.
Yeah, because this is also one.
Okay, non-starter.
And for busways, which is something that we really advocate for, which is kind of like a part of the corridor that's completely void of traffic, but only for buses, delivery trucks, and emergency vehicles. So in a lot of ways, we're like, we don't really get why businesses don't like really want those projects, because a lot of them still allow the delivery trucks. They just wouldn't be competing with like through traffic.
Got it.
Thank you. Liz,
Thank you.
You have a
Yeah, I was going to say one of their partners for this walk today was the Cortellia Merchants Association. Unfortunately, their lead Dina is out of town today, so she couldn't make it today. But she did want me to speak to an issue about pedestrian safety in the area that I'm sure you've all seen before. And that was specifically to how as a volunteer organization, the Cortellia Merchants Association doesn't necessarily have the same resources that some of the business improvement districts have, and particularly one that comes up is a lot around garbage pickup, both commercial garbage pickup, but then also garbage on the streets, and that they've been working really hard to get as much additional pickup as possible, including through Councilmember Joseph's office, to get more and more garbage pickup more regularly, and having that be done in a safe manner as possible, so that the sidewalks are clear and people can walk by very safely. But just wanted to, they wanted to raise it as an ongoing issue that they're very attentive to, and we're really excited that we can share this issue out as part of this community event to make sure that as many eyes as possible can get on it and make sure that that garbage is collected in a safe and efficient and maybe a little bit more prompt manner. So just wanted to make sure that their voice was also heard, and we really thank them for their partnership.
Yeah, I think on the streets like this, it's really important for people in wheelchairs, etc., getting through, just for accessibility to make sure.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that. Eric, you wanted to speak about Cortellia and some of the improvements?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So as some of you might have noticed, there was a redesign of the intersection at Cortellia Road and Coney Island, which I believe they call a dog leg, where it's not straight across. To go from Cortellia to Cortellia, you have to do this kind of. It seems simple, but it turns out geometry matters in feet and inches in cities. So there's a wonderful push, including Flatbush Streets for People, to advocate for a redesign that tries to, by design, avoid conflict between green-lit cars and active pedestrians, which before was not an accident, it was a feature of how it was designed. And it was basically a disaster waiting to happen. I don't know how many accidents went unreported, as we've heard that they often do. So I think this was a huge step in the right direction. I appreciate all the people involved, Councilmember Joseph's office,
Hanif, Shahana Hanif, that's our district too?
So various partners, the advocacy of Flatbush Streets for People and transportation alternatives. I think really making that work will be a boon to the businesses in the neighborhood. There's so many schools in the neighborhood that it was just, again, a couple blocks south where it was a terrible tragedy because children didn't have safe streets to bike on. So this is a huge step in the right direction, and there's still some things that need to be worked out, but I think we can bring that energy to other kind of hyper-local projects, and it really comes down to, I think what I learned was that in a way we are experts of our own neighborhood, and we don't have to outsource kind of like a generic solution. I think we all know and feel where something is breaking down, and we can disagree about the solutions, but the specific designs, but I think that was like an empowering instance where we see something going wrong. We have our own values about we want to make pedestrians and bikers safe. We don't have to compromise on that to keep cars moving. Anyway, so more of that hopefully.
Is there any timeline? Because I spoke to Rita Joseph during the Flatbush Brawling event here, and she had already seen it, so that's much. So what's the timeline? Any idea?
When you say the timeline?
When is this? It hasn't been fixed yet, right?
Yeah,
it hasn't.
So I would say.
It's okay now.
So I would. So the question was, what is the timeline for the project?
design really went into, I would say, almost full effect about 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
There was a transition period where there were like certain things got like certain implementations and signage came up in a staggered approach. I think, from what I understand, they are still evaluating how much physical blockade they need, which I think would be a nice improvement.
Yeah.
Because part of the issue is that there's a fire station here. Some would say that if you compromise around that, then you're allowing something to be dangerous 24/7. So there's different ways to evaluate that, but I think they're 90% of the way finished with implementation. I think it would be good for you to go there and stand
I'm gonna
and
go now.
experience it. Experience it, and also be prepared to provide additional feedback if it's not like all the way there. Because I think we're at the stage where it can be tweaked into something that's very safe.
There's still drivers that are driving over it.
Yeah. So I think there's a couple more ballers, and it would be a lot safer. So
When we were there a couple days ago, when one light changed the first 3 cars.
That's also just like the neighborhood adjusting to a new.
So there's some momentum, some expectations. Some people I don't think genuinely know that there is a change. Hopefully that will change. I think. Yeah, but by design, there are no more conflicts between drivers and pedestrians, and that's a huge, sad to say, but it's a huge accomplishment.
Can you please not video me?
Nah, it's okay. It's a free street. It's a free street. I'll hold it down.
Yeah, I don't want to be videoed.
No problem.
Thank you. My name is Sylvia. I'm a member of Families for Safe Streets. So I just wanted to say thank you to Liz and Ms. Group for having the event here.
Let me go back.
I live that way, so I don't live locally right here, but I come here a lot.
I don't know.
So another thing that Liz and a lot of people who are in Flatbush Street know about is going to the website of DOT and entering cases. That's a really important thing you can do for yourself to see, because you guys know the streets. I'm having trouble hearing. Okay,
Speak
sorry.
louder, yeah.
I was saying you can go to the DOT website and you can enter a case. You can ask for a stop sign. You can ask for safety improvements. You just have to say where you're asking, and you have to say why. Schools, name the schools, name the businesses, name the religious institutions. Be very specific, and then you'll wait and you'll get an answer, and they'll tell you, yeah, we're going to look into this, or we have to do a study. But at least if a lot of people put in cases, and especially about the torch, a lot of people.
Yeah, I think we spend a lot of cases with that in DOT's Lumber Walk too. But I will just note that to Debbie's wonderful point that one of many things that both people in our campaign and in the neighborhood broadly had been doing that led to Cortelyou getting an improvement was there were literally hundreds of DOT complaints about it. And so it can be effective. It doesn't always work, but one of many strategies, and we urge you all to take it. I think now we're hoping to take a group photo in front of this beautiful mural at the food co-op. So if we can just, all get together.
I just wanted to say one more thing. New York City has a day of for traffic violence. So that's coming up on Sunday, November 17th, and that's continuing. So anybody who's interested in making the streets safer in New York City, please attend. They go through, it's very painful, but they go through all the names of the people who died during the year in every neighborhood of the city. And then people come and speak, and everybody, it's a solemn time, but it's really an important event. It's November 17th on a Sunday. So,
it is a very meaningful event.
Is there detailed information about that online? Yes, Families for Safe Streets, New York City. Yes, you can find detailed information. Yeah, everybody is very welcome. And also, if you've been a victim or you are a family member of a victim of traffic violence, Families for Safe Streets, New York City. And one more thing, crash, not accident. That's something that we've been saying for years, to call these crashes because they can be prevented. Accident means like, okay, you're not
But you actually pushing the daylighting, right? About daylight. What's daylighting? Daylighting and roll diets. You should be having more around here. Why is that? Yeah.
Everyone's been asking for all of these things. You know, there's a lot of issues.
And rest in peace to Kamari Hughes, by the way.
People have been asking for along Dorchester Road in particular, and making sure that cars can see people walking, people biking, especially smaller kids and pets. So you know, it's wonderful. So daylighting can be important in a lot of ways. One of the issues that people notice on Dorchester is that there is some daylighting, it's just painted and people end up parking in it sometimes. Daylighting at a high level is that, as you can see here, cars can park all the way to the curb or to the crosswalk, and if you remove like one parking space and make sure that you use it in a different way, public seating, bike parking, benches, street restaurants, like lots of different options, it can help. There actually is a bulb out one block over, or a couple blocks over on Rugby that is a form of daylighting where the sidewalk it goes into where that last parking spot would be, and it improves visibility for everyone.
I don't know if you've seen, our office got an email not long ago from DOT to let us know about locations that are going to be daylighted. And CB14 is part of 2024's daylighting initiative. So we have Dorchester and Rugby on the north and south. Yeah, and the north and south corner. I don't know. It's actually a little confusing the way they sent it. But anyway, there's going to be a couple of locations on Dorchester where they're going to be implementing that. Also some at St. Paul's Place, East 31st Street and East 23rd Street, down here like Foster Avenue. So it's a start.
It's coming.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
All right, if folks can, if anyone who wants to be in the picture, we're going to take a group photo. Stand by that mural. We'll try to get as much of the mural as possible.
I'm not taking no pictures. No want me no photo with these people, but it's whatever. Keep it on. But like I said, it's.
And then we will continue on to our next stop.
You don't have to be in the picture.
I might as well get in the picture.
You gotta get the wide angle.
So they're going to Flatbush. So look, I tried my best. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't be disrespectful to anybody. So let's go to Flatbush. We're going to the last stop. It was almost 3 o'clock. So you see guys, you see how I am, guys. I try to help these guys out and say we need to go against Rita Joseph. We got to rally against her because she's not doing the right thing. So I think Riders Line's the last stop, so I'm gonna ask them, will congestion pricing fix this? Let's go. See, a lot of city bikes on here. This is Cortelia E16. A lot of bike racks. Oh, holy shit. A lot of city bike racks. $241.
This is our trash on one side and our.
I have a question. Like, I have a fundamental question about how these streets were laid out. Like, you see how this super wide sidewalk here, and then this other narrow sidewalk. Like,
So Flatbush is right over there.
yeah, well,
Take that dollar cap home while I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Wesley has a massive sidewalk.
Because different developers bought huge.
Yeah, I think that's it.
The developers who originally built this.
Oh yeah. Crowd got smaller, by the way. Oh no, real smaller.
Just try to, it's not that far walk, but just try to keep everybody in one group, you know, just like
No, of course.
I
No, I know. I love
it. We're hoping this summer to do 4 gardens. Because we just got a contract with East 4th Street Community Garden. And then also the, I don't know if you know, the Flatbush Gardener, Chris Crusoe.
We're heading to Flatbush. Now we're in Rodney's Pashot Herman's district. We're in Rodney's Pashot Herman's district, the county chair district. Where's county on this? By the way, it's over, guys. COVID's over. COVID is over. Why they have the mask on? I don't know why, but I ain't gonna find my account. I said it was COVID-19. Don't matter. Yep. This is the crowd. Got smaller. A little smaller. Yep. Yep. Okay. So I thought we were going to Flatbush.
Designated place to trip.
Yeah, if I can come up, if you want to.
Sorry.
Watch your step if you can go there.
Yes. It's like a seat there.
All right, so hey everyone. My name is Musa. I'm here to talk to you guys about just my own experience on Ocean Ave. Like many of you all, I am on Ocean Ave in all kinds of ways. In a car, I take the bus, ride my bike, and I walk across it. And as many of you know, it's a very, it can be a very chaotic street. When I am in a car, there's double parking happening all the time. It jams up the road. It ends up being pretty bad. When I'm in a bus, yeah, no worries. When I'm in a bus, the same thing happens. Double parked cars or bad design of the street helps get in the way of the speed of the buses. And that usually slows me down, especially on days when the Q train is down and then they run the shuttles up and down the street. It ends up being really chaotic. And then finally, the last two parts is when I'm a pedestrian, I'm crossing, especially at night, there are tons of cars that come flying through. They blow past red lights, and they make the street overall pretty unsafe, at least in my experience. The last part is when I'm biking. You can see here, there are some sharrows and other parts of a painted lane. And regardless, at the end of the day, it's still paint. So I have been blown by cars more times than I can count. There are some parts of the road that get really tight because there's parking, then there's trucks, and then there's cars as well. And we have a few bike riders who are like just trying to make their way through. And it ends up being really dangerous. I've had tons of close calls, and I want the road ultimately improved in some way. It's about figuring out the right balance between existing traffic, accommodating trucks moving through the street. Obviously, there's a population of bike riders, including myself, who are coming through, and we have to kind of build infrastructure to accommodate that. And at the end of the day, there are pedestrians coming through here all the time. And so whenever you're trying to cross these streets, I think there was a discussion I overheard earlier, sometimes the streets in the neighborhood are just angled really weird, right? So this is like a longer path to cross, in other places it's shorter. And so creating either islands or other types of safety measures can help improve everyone's experience on the road, including my own. And my husband and I are expecting a kid next year, and I want to be able to walk the kid down the street without, fearing for their lives. Like I know there are tons of parents who organize in the neighborhood who are trying to make sure that the neighborhood remains safe for themselves and their kids. The last thing I want to talk about is delivery trucks and loading zones. So this is a bit tricky of a tricky subject, but we kind of all, for the last like 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, we've all had to adjust to the fact that all of us, in some capacity, are ordering stuff online. That's meant more trucks on the road. And what happens, or at least what I see happen all the time, is either FedEx trucks, UPS trucks, sometimes it's Amazon trucks. They will park and they'll park like on this crosswalk here because they can't find a spot somewhere on the street. And thankfully I can get around it because I got good knees still, but I'm not always gonna have good knees. And I have my in-laws are aging, they've been getting older, and so as you think about people with disabilities trying to get around it, we're all gonna age, we're all going to have some struggle at some point. It makes it more difficult to navigate the neighborhood. And so I'd like ultimately some type of like longer term solution around managing the trucks. Well, I think it might be like some designated loading zones or loading zone times, whatever it is, to improve the situation. But yeah, that's been my experience. Thank you all for listening.
Cool.
And we're gonna head on to our our very last stop, which is at Flatbush and Cortellia. So we will walk that way now.
Last stop, and that's it. Last stop on the train. Cortellia Road and Flatbush Avenue. Transfers to the B41 bus
I know, like,
and $1 cab. $2 cab. Oh shit. Can't these cards. No helmet on. This is crazy. Should we advocate for helmets more? It's my advice. So we're in Flatbush Avenue. So we're heading Assemblymember Rodney Pashot Herman's district, the 42nd district, Little Haiti. So Riders Alliance is gonna be bringing it home to this afternoon, just bringing it home. They're trying to advocate for a bus lane on Flatbush Avenue. But I'm gonna ask her, how will congestion pricing fix this? Will congestion pricing fix, 10% good. Will congestion pricing fix this? An example right here. You see the example? Wow, an example is right here. We're on 21st and Cortellia. This is an example right here, look. We gotta go through this shit. This is an example right here, come on. We just, see? I feel for anybody that's really fat, because they can't fit through that. They gotta go all the way around and hit that dangerous spot right there. Yeah, I know. Crazy. $2.53. Yes, 7 minutes. Yeah. So last stop, transfers to the B41 bus and a $2 cab. And it smells like shit around here. See, that's why we gotta get Rita Joseph out the door, man. I'm trying to tell these guys we gotta get Rita Joseph out. It smells like shit.
I don't have to have it be like, you know what I mean?
You got the I helped out a bit. Someone else does it.
Hello! Welcome again. Thank you so much for being with us on this walking tour, walk and talk about around Flatbush for Safe Streets. We are at our last stop, so we're going to first hear from our wonderful partners at Riders Alliance.
Hey everyone, I'm Jaleese again from Riders Alliance. We are a grassroots organization that fights for better public transportation. I'm just going to really scream and project, so let me know if you can't hear me. But anyway, one of our big campaigns right now is to improve bus speeds on Flatbush Avenue. And I just want to start by sort of spewing some statistics out at everyone. When we're talking about buses, 75% of people taking the bus in New York City are folks of color, 50% are essential workers and immigrants. Only 25% of our subway stations are accessible, so this is really an accessibility justice issue, and I just want to ground everyone in those stats, because when we're talking about policy that will improve bus speeds, like it's really anti-oppressive policy that will benefit working class people, that really keep the city going. So also in 2022, the mayor was supposed to start working on the streets plan law, which mandates that the mayor put in 150 miles of busways and bus lanes throughout the city. He was supposed to start with 20 in the first year and then 30 plus leading up throughout the rest of his administration. He's put in like 10 lanes or 10 miles of the 150, so he's just ignoring the law. He just like does not care about bus riders.
Mayor photo op.
Yes, he actually rode the B41 with us when he first got into office, getting off at Empire, and made a bunch of promises to bus riders and hasn't followed through. So we're working on this campaign.
Did y'all get the jacket back?
We did not.
Oh.
So we are partnered with Pratt Center. We've been working on a research project. We surveyed like 2,000 people over the summer. We were like working very hard all along Flatbush and the libraries in the neighborhood, just really talking to everyone, students, older folks, essential workers, teachers, and everyone's saying the same thing. You know, people are waiting at overcrowded. They're boarding overcrowded buses, waiting a long time. People can't, step up or get on with their wheelchair that they're using. So yeah, we've been out doing stuff like that. I'm happy to answer any questions. I think I touched on most of my points.
So will congestion pricing fix this? Congestion pricing.
This is more of we're really focused on the city. The bus lanes that we're fighting for are more of a city-wide issue, focused on the mayor.
The congestion pricing will give money to the city, and the city proposed to fund these bus lanes. Is that part of the capital plan?
Yes.
Is that part of the capital plan, or the capital plan is part of the like elevators only? Is it?
Yeah. So congestion pricing is focused on the capital plan and not necessarily the operating budget. So.
But this is part of the operating budget, or this is part of the capital plan?
This is a city-run. This is a city campaign, so it's not an MTA. It's DOT. So I can't really answer that. Maybe
the city is in charge of the streets themselves, and so if putting in a busway and other street level improvements is the domain of the city DOT, which obviously works in conjunction with other things to improve transit, like the capital plan, accessibility, plus people improvements that would come through congestion pricing.
So
it's a separate initiative.
So the DOT.
I know you guys have been having some like. I know you guys have been having some like sessions, community sessions.
Yeah.
How have those been going?
Good question. I'm asking about the community sessions that Riders Alliance has been doing, and really great timing, in fact.
Yeah. So we have been organizing since January, so it's almost been a year. We've been having community meetings once a month and other events, and they've been going great. People that are taking buses on Flatbush Ave are coming, giving us their feedback, telling us that the buses just are not working. We are having a community meeting on Tuesday at the Central Library. So we'll send out a link to RSVP to that and the thank you email or the follow-up email. And DOT has made a proposal for the northern part of Flatbush Avenue, and we're pushing them to propose and announce something sooner than later on the central part.
And just to be, for folks who are maybe a little less in the know, the section DOT is currently looking at putting bus lanes in ends at Grand Army Plaza, but we know that this area is incredibly slow. The data shows that, so we're trying to make sure that it doesn't just stop there.
So what about the $2 cabs? Because I know you put a bus lane here, and the law now is where like if anybody I don't drive, but anybody that drives on a bus lane gets a ticket. Why do the $2 cab people drive on the bus lanes?
I'm surprised to hear you don't drive, but the dollar vans would be allowed to use. They're generally allowed to use the bus. I mean, the busways they're allowed to use, the bus lanes. Kind of like they're not really enforced in that way.
Why they don't do it? Is it because of is it a racial?
Well,
I mean,
I'm not sure the policy around it.
I think also that this is something that we're hoping that DOT and MTA can work on, because it is a concern for the neighborhood. And we don't necessarily have the answer to this, but we'd like to see something that makes sure that everyone is being served well by all of the modes of transit, including $3 fares.
No, that's thank you. So anyway, any other questions? Or?
Yeah. Is there any other reflections people also would want to add? Not just, if obviously bus issues on Flatbush are part of that, but also just this is an opportunity for other reflections to be added. I see both Margaret and Dora have their hands up.
So, talking about congestion pricing, I live further down by Avenue M, but one of the challenges that we have is that people are already commuting into the Q and the B trains and parking and taking up local parking, which exacerbates the double parking and the sort of the parking competition. Is there conversations around creating municipal parking or opportunities for people to commute in once congestion pricing will happen at some point?
I haven't heard any of those conversations personally. I'm sure people that are more experts in congestion pricing might know. I think all the money made from congestion pricing will be put towards improving public transportation. Everything is, so hopefully once that improves, people will just be taking the train more, but I'm not sure. Do you know?
I was going to also say, I think that in general, hopefully there's going to be additional ways of encouraging people to drive less the distance of their rides. And so hopefully with the Brooklyn bus network redesign and with other things, there will be considerations that have taken into account so that, if someone's driving in from, say, Long Island or something, they can drive to a closer location, like making the drive smaller and improving the transit from that area so that they can get throughout the city instead of driving all the way in.
I think that's the hope, is more people will just take the trains more. I haven't heard any specific.
Hope doesn't get us very
right,
far.
yeah.
Is it something that you can bring to the table, that the cars of people who are not supposed to commute, that they need to go somewhere?
Yeah, I think that people are certainly going to. I'm not a transportation planner, but I assume that they will be continually looking at this, and I'm sure that everyone will continue. Double parking affects everyone. Tighter parking affects everyone and makes it more dangerous for people walking, or cars on the road makes it more dangerous for everyone. And so I think that certainly, there's going to be efforts when this happens to identify these locations, and it'll really help with, neighbors and so forth, like you all, noting them in your area and bringing them to folks who are making these decisions to better, how can they solve it? Like, I don't have the answer. That's why I was saying, you have one possible option. I have this was my instinct, but hopefully the people who are really working on this will be really receptive to hearing this feedback. And I do think that people are going to be keeping an eye out on it. Like, it's a really big piece of legislation, and it's a really big program. When it hopefully gets implemented soon, that people will, I think no one's going to be like, oh, it's perfect, we're done, So, yeah. Nora, I think you also have to take a head.
In my mind, we were ending here as an example of the craziness when it comes to pedestrian safety with the Flatbush and the diagonal. So I don't know how these things happen. It's useful and helpful to hear that a stop sign or infrastructure can get put in if enough people call about an intersection. But when you're talking about a street that's this long and this essentially disruptive, the bus, do you ever hear about studies that encompass not just an intersection, but a whole?
Usually when DOT puts in things like protected bike lanes or puts in busways, there are a lot of pedestrian considerations that go along with it. There's also some initiatives we've seen in Manhattan to narrow wider roadways, like on 9th Avenue, getting that extra sidewalk space. And Broadway has been a beautiful example of kind of a little bit of a sort of part open street, part linear park, part traffic calming. And so I think that there's, it's both something that happens with larger projects, and that's a little bit of why I think a lot of our campaigns focus on some of these larger projects. It gives opportunities to really look holistically at a corridor and not just say, can we put something in here that may or may not happen, may or may not be a priority. But it's also true that there are, it's really a shame that we have to fight so hard for all of these things, and it's very difficult to get the attention of getting, just a simple busway put in, something that, like Jaleesa said, Mayor Adams was supposed to do hundreds of miles more that would come with a lot of these improvements. A lot of the most dangerous streets are these wider corridors that serve multiple uses. So,
And the streets plan includes bus lane or bike lanes, and I think some pedestrian safety measures as well. So,
and Jeff, I think, has something to add.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that point about pedestrian crossings. When they did the work, right here in this neighborhood, when they did the work at Portello and Coney Island to adjust the light lighting, one of the things they did as part of that is they said, okay, this is going to add a little more traffic going to the next streets over, and so they added additional pedestrian islands and crosswalks, 1 block north and 1 block south. I live right next to one of these. It's fantastic because previously it was a wide cross down Coney Island Avenue, and there was only a crosswalk on one side of the street, and it was lighted as you can turn right on red, so it's really rough for people trying to cross the street, and it's a dog leg also, so it's really rough for people trying to cross the street. And so one of the things that DOT did is they said, we're going to do this project, we're doing some capital work, we're going to also improve the pedestrian experience, improve the pedestrian experience and make sure the cars aren't going quite as fast when they're taking the turns, which was one of the concerns. So I think they do, I'm glad it happened, but I think that's the thing we can push for. Is when you're doing something here, look at the streets, why don't you, I know.
Yeah. And I will just add on to Jeffrey's comment that, as some people had mentioned, a little more traffic is on Dorchester now from that, and that's all the more reason that DOT really needs to follow up with the safety improvements that the Dittmas Park Neighborhood Association and Rashid and so many have been advocating for, and that is something we are also going to highlight as a follow-up to this event as being one of the top needs in the area. So really wanted to thank everyone for all their time. If anyone wants to speak about anything a little bit more, we'll be here for a little bit, but do you want to make sure you're able to get to the rest of your day now that we have cleaner air than we did yesterday with the fires especially. So,
yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
We still have water available, and if you'd like to give out some information with
I'm good. I gotta bounce. All right, I'm going. I gotta go. I gotta go to downtown Brooklyn and get some shit. But yeah, at the end of the day, guys. At the end of the day, I was here, guys. Nothing happened. I got there late, so I couldn't even get the other minutes of the speeches. So I don't give a shit. So they can't say I did anything. I'm not gonna this fucking $2 cab and get my black ass out of here. So that was hilarious, by the way. But I was bored, so as we come out, see what this shit's about. I'm bored anyway. I was bored. You know what I'm saying? That's why I came out. I was bored. And Elon Musk made me see your page, so thank Kathy for that. I'm gonna get on this 41 bus in downtown Brooklyn, so take care, New York. Michael Montano, one of the best soca singers in the country. Limited? Oh, limited. All right. So that's the 41 limited. So it's all good. So take care, everybody. My other phone died, so whatever. So peace out, New York. Later.